Greetings, everyone, and welcome. This is Independent Voice, and I am Mame. I am grateful for the opportunity to come to you on the last day of 2025. What a year it has been. There were many moments I considered reflecting on today, but one stood out above the rest, not because it was easy, but because it mattered. Something this year made unmistakably clear. This year reminded us of something uncomfortable. That silence is never neutral. Some stories demanded attention not because they were trending, but because ignoring them came at a moral cost. At Independent Voice, we didn't try to cover everything. We tried to sit with what mattered, even when it was complex, painful, or unpopular. This is not a highlight reel. It's a reflection. This year, certain themes kept resurfacing, no matter how different and difficult the headlines looked. The persecution of Christians in Nigeria, brutal, sustained, and often minimized. Ethiopia, and the global war of narratives, where truth struggled to survive noise. Diaspora engagement, powerful when grounded, dangerous when distorted. Africa's strategic relevance, discussed globally, yet rarely understood on its own terms. What united these stories wasn't geography or politics. It was this. Truth was present, but clarity was missing. And when clarity is missing, narratives rush in to fill the gap. This year taught us lessons that no breaking news alert ever could. Speed is not truth. The fastest narrative is rarely the most accurate. Africa is spoken about more than it is listened to. Too often, African realities are filtered through external priorities. Faith is strongest when it refuses manipulation. When belief becomes a political tool, everyone loses. Silence can be weaponized. Not every injustice is loud. Some persist because they are ignored. Narratives shape policy. What we repeat eventually becomes what leaders act on. These lessons didn't come from theory. They came from watching real consequences unfold. Independent Voice exists because truth deserves context, faith deserves dignity, and Africa deserves to be understood, not simplified. This channel is not partisan. It is not reactionary. It is not driven by outrage cycles. Independent Voice is about slowing the conversation down, asking harder questions, and refusing to trade integrity for attention. If that makes the work quieter, so be it. If it makes it slower, that is intentional. There is something else this year revealed, and it is very personal. Independent Voice exists not just as an idea, but as a commitment. And that commitment has not come without resistance. As a woman and as an immigrant, carrying an independent platform that refuses easy narratives has meant navigating a double-edged reality. There were moments of pushback, moments of quiet, backhanded campaigns meant to discredit rather than engage. But that resistance sharpened something very important. Our foresight, our discipline, most of all, our resolve. Independent Voice pressed on, not louder, but clearer. Not reactive, but steadier. And doing so, it became exactly what it claimed to be: A voice independent in thought, grounded in integrity, and unwilling to be silenced by pressure or expectation. Sometimes resistance is not a sign to retreat. It is confirmation that the work matters. Faith matters, not as a slogan, but as a compass. When the Christian faith is targeted violently, culturally, or ideologically, it doesn't only affect believers. It shapes how societies treat dignity, restraint, and truth. This year reminded us that persecution is not confined to one continent. Nigeria may represent the most severe form, but pressure against faith are edging closer to the Western world than many of us care to acknowledge. The forms differ. The consequences do not. When the Christian faith is targeted anywhere, it impacts everyone. I also want to be clear about something very important. While Independent Voice often engages deeply with Africa, and Ethiopia in particular, that focus does not come at the expense of concern for the United States or the world we live in. I speak as a US citizen who cares deeply about this country, its values, its institutions, and its future. The same commitment to clarity, integrity, and truth that guides conversations about Africa also applies to conversations about America and global affairs. Independent Voice is not about choosing one place over another. It's about understanding how our worlds are connected and how narratives, policies, and values shape lives everywhere. As we step into the new year, Independent Voice will continue to do what it has always done, with greater intention and deeper focus. In the year ahead, you can expect more thoughtful conversations, deeper analysis beyond headlines, continued engagement on Africa, the United States, and global issues, and a steady commitment to faith-aware, context-driven dialogue. We will speak carefully, question boldly, and refuse shortcuts, even when they are so tempting. Independent Voice will not cover everything, but it will continue to cover what matters. If you value clarity over clicks, context over controversy, and truth over trends, I invite you to stay with us. Engage thoughtfully. And if this space resonates with you, consider subscribing today. Not just to support the channel, but to be part of a community that chooses not to look away and chooses to add a voice. Thank you for listening, and thank you for walking this journey with us. This is Independent Voice, and I am Mamme. Remember, use your voice to make a difference and never silence others. Thank you for watching. May we continue to choose truth, courage, and compassion. God bless, and may God bless us all. Happy New Year. Make it count.